depend on our members to let me know so I can protect all of the members. So thank you for that.
Harris Real Estate University students, we're going to be creating a very specific, easy to understand button on the website, on our blog, which is going to allow you to essentially file a complaint against a HAFA participating lender if they're not following the guidelines. And what I'm going to do is basically take all those comments and I'm going to forward them to Jeff once a week. But we'll be talking more about that so that he can take that information directly to Treasury. As I said, guys, this is our gateway. Jeff is our exact or our specific voice for talking with Treasury. So if you have any frustrations with these banks, if they're not following the guidelines, tell us, we'll tell them, or tell him directly. Julie?
Yeah, so what I hear you saying throughout this interview, Jeff, is that really pretty much everything is still potentially negotiable. And I just get this feeling from you, very obviously realtor friendly, and to not give up. The banks, you said it, banks need us. Mm-hmm. You know, and so just because something gets bounced back from the servicer saying, hey, you know what, we need $5,000 or $10,000 more, that doesn't mean that that's set in stone. We've got to remind all of our agents that they negotiate for a living sometimes and to not be intimidated by these banks.
Well, that's right.
Jeff, I'm curious, the calls that you're getting from members right now, mm-hmm. Are they complaining? Is there anything that we didn't cover on this call that is worth mentioning that you're hearing?
Well, at the moment we're in the confusing stage of, well, HAFA's out, and they're assuming that the banks are doing short sales under HAFA. And I think that to a large extent that is not the case, especially if it's an ongoing situation where they've been working on the short sale for months, and April 5th was the deadline for complying with HAFA. So that is one of the areas that, as you mentioned, patience. I mean, I've started using that word even in Washington reports. You know, patience will be required. April 5th was the deadline. Clearly, the servicers are playing catch-up. They're still training their front office staffs. We still get calls where they say, well, I called the servicer and told them about HAFA because, I've done a better job helping realtors get the information they need than the lenders have. And what they hear is, well, I don't know what HAFA is. What are you talking about? And this is what, and then they try to stick with the same old. So, we're going to be educating the servicers, and hopefully they're going to be doing it themselves much better than they have so far.
So I heard Jeff say that he is hearing your voice loud and clear in the halls of the National Association of Realtors and taking your complaints directly to the Treasury Department.
Yeah, so I submitted 7 questions about HAFA this morning to Treasury, so I've started that process. And the tax question went weeks ago.
Okay, good.
So, excuse me, I interrupted you, Tim. But
No. You said it well. But I think it's really important that they know that what your specific role is and what the National Association of Realtors and how active that you guys have been in D.C., trying to streamline and essentially streamline the short sale process. And, again, giving credit where credit is due. Again, we sincerely thank you for that. Julie, are there any other questions we didn't cover? I can't believe how many. There's probably 7 different questions they're asking.
Lots of questions asking, yes, if there's any discussion going on about investment properties. HAFA is for the primary residence, people under 729, 750. Mm-hmm. What about all of this glut in some of the markets like Las Vegas and Miami and some of the areas where there was an overabundance of condos, for example, and there's all of these investment properties. Is there any discussion of a HAFA-type program for investor properties?
No, I haven't heard anything about that, and that's where I hope that if the HAFA program starts to work and the lenders see the advantage of it, they apply the principles to their other short sales programs for investors and even for other homeowners where HAFA doesn't quite fit because they don't meet the threshold requirements under HAMP. But the government's going to be focusing on homeowners, and the principal residences, and I wouldn't hold my breath for an investor HAFA program.
Really interesting.
But never say never. But I haven't heard anyone talk about that.
So, Julie, you had a question about. I saw this one come in. You set it aside about realtors doing BPOs.
Yes, this is something that we hear almost on a daily basis from agents. There is a large amount of confusion out there whether they're allowed to do BPOs, whether NAR is okay with that. Most of this comes from office managers, from other agents saying, oh, I heard that was illegal. So I'm here to ask you on this call, what is your opinion of agents doing BPOs? Because there's certainly plenty of BPO business out there.
Well, NAR is a big tent, and we support our members who choose to do BPOs. Of course, it has to be consistent with state law, and there are restrictions at the state law level on BPOs. But appraiser groups wrote Secretary Geithner back, I don't know, early March or the end of April, suggesting that valuations under HAFA should be done with the full appraisal. And we responded with a letter to Geithner and HUD Secretary Donovan saying BPOs are appropriate, and there's been a lot of misinformation about them. There's no reason to think that they are less valid or useful than appraisals, and they're widely accepted. And they have established reliability and accuracy. You may tell that I'm reading from the letter we wrote on March 12th. So, suddenly I'm sounding stiff and formal. Anyway, so we definitely are interested in allowing our members to do BPOs where they choose to do so and where state law permits it.
That's right, and I think it's probably something like, Julie, you might know this, I think it's like 40 out of the 50 states out there have no issues whatsoever with realtors doing BPOs. So, it's interesting sometimes the things that realtors hear versus what the truth is. So, guys, be careful that when you have issues and questions like this, don't just rely on what you heard. Actually, spend a little time to research it. So Jeff, let's wrap this call up. And as I asked you this question yesterday when we spoke. As a realtor, the realtors that are listening to this call, Harris Real Estate University has thousands of students. What can we be doing as a group to help you, and what can we be doing to help National Association of Realtors now with regards to HAFA? Is there anything else that we should be doing, that we should be aware of to reinforce what you guys are trying to do inside the Beltway?
Well, we touched on it already, but it bears repeating, which is that I can't solve a problem I don't know about. I can't always solve a problem, but I can't even try if I don't know about it. So I depend on our members to stay in touch with me, to send us emails. Feel free to work through your state and local associations, through Harris Real Estate University, where we can get some consolidated results, because there's only one of me here, and and I've got other jobs to do, like GSE reform or financial restructuring.
He's being very polite and saying, please don't flood his email box.
That's right, but so far I have kept up and managed to get the rest of my work done. But don't be shy. I'm not very hard to find on Google. My name and HAFA will get you, enough hits to hit something with a email address in it. So I just encourage you that if you see a problem, there's no way for me to try to fix it unless I know about it, and don't be shy.
That's right. So, guys, all of us have to work together to truly be the hope for homeowners. It's your individual responsibility as a realtor to understand that your first and foremost goal should be to help people solve a problem. And when you learn the skills necessary to perform that function, you're not going to have any problem whatsoever finding business. There's so many people out there. If you listen to Elizabeth Warren from the Congressional Oversight Committee not too far from where Jeff is now, she's predicting there could be up to 15 million REOs coming to market over the next few years. Now, let's hope it's not that bad. Let's hope a lot of these homes can be sold via a short sale process prior. But the bottom line is there is truly in this marketplace an enormous opportunity to help homeowners and, frankly, help yourselves. Focus on short sales. Focus on helping homeowners have a graceful exit. Help them through this process. A lot of times you're going to be dealing with people that have never dealt with this level of stress before. You're not only dealing with someone who's having probably financial issues, you're dealing with people that are having to move. I mean, guys, just understand that there never has been and never will be another time when caring, competent, and skilled realtors have been so needed. So, Jeff, on behalf of Julie, myself, and all the faculty and staff and students of Harris Real Estate University, again, I want to sincerely thank you for your time today. You've been very gracious answering all my questions and emails and the rest of it, and I really do appreciate the opportunity to have had this teleconference with you.
Well, I'm really happy to have had the opportunity, and thank you for helping get the word out on HAFA. It's so important.
So thank you for everyone for joining us today. Hopefully we have given you enough encouragement, education, motivation to go out there and make a difference in your community. So again, on behalf of Julie and myself and all the faculty and staff here at Harris Real Estate University, thank you for joining us for today's Harris Real Estate University National Association of Realtors HAFA event. Have a wonderful day.